Ayman Khan here for Seconds Out with Eddie Hearn in Leeds. Neutral venue, neutral arena for Taylor versus Catchall, to the much heated, much anticipated rematch between the two. Talk me about the bad blood between both men.
Yeah, I've not really seen anything like this before. I mean, this is right up there with Frochgroves, Quigg Frampton, Bellew Cleverley, but this is the first time I've had two guys that actually want to attack each other on site. You know, normally you bring them together and he says something, he shoves him, and then it goes off. As soon as these two come together, they want to grab each other around the throat and fight now. So you'll probably see at the press conference tomorrow, sometimes on these big build-ups, everyone trying to stay calm. I think the weigh-in will go off because both guys are making weight. And listen, off the back of what was an amazing fight last week, what great timing to keep the momentum going in boxing. Biggest fight this year in Britain by a mile so far. And, you know, I think good timing, and I think we'll get a great fight. The first fight was intriguing. I think this one will be explosive. I really do.
Fair to say the pressure lands on Taylor's shoulders, considering his accolades within the sport, and then of course the feeling that he feels that he's miles better than Catterall. You feel that Taylor really has to perform here, otherwise his career might be on the line.
I think both do. You know, I think when we talk about, we always say careers on the line. When I say that, I don't mean they're old or they have to retire. I'm saying where they want to operate in the sport. If you lose, you're a few steps away from that. Do you know what I mean? These guys want to be challenging for world titles in massive fights against huge names. And if you lose on Saturday night, that's gone. Do you want to rebuild from there at this age of your career? Especially Josh Taylor, who, you know, has achieved a little bit more than Jack, even though we feel Jack should have been undisputed. So, you know, I know you see this game is always a game of snakes and ladders. And sometimes when you get beat, you don't like the look of the new opportunity or the new money or the new purse. You know, so that's what's on the line on Saturday night is snakes and ladders. You get beat, you fall back down the board to a position you might not want to be in the sport. So pride, honour, but also world championship and career-defining opportunities taken away from you if you get beat in Leeds.
Has there been much dispute regarding the referee or the judges between either camps?
No, not as of yet. Well, I mean, no real disputes. Sometimes other than who's late and who's, I mean, it's, you know, there's a lot of bickering in terms of he turns up late. He does. Obviously, we had the 4-week delay as well, which didn't go down well with Team Catterall. But I think you've got two fighters in their absolute physical prime going into this fight. Saw them today at the promo filming. Looked in sensational shape, both of them. And I really believe we'll get a great fight.
For the rest of the card.
Great card. I mean, you've got Chef Clark going for the British Championship. Another Matchroom v Queensbury fight, which unfortunately didn't go very well for us in Saudi, but we're 10 days away from the big one. I think Chef Clark becomes British champion on Saturday. It's a big moment for him. I love the fight between Paddy Donovan and Lewis Ritson. You know, for me, Paddy Donovan is a potential world-class operator. Lewis Ritson's going to be much more solid at 147 pounds. Going to have to try and drag Paddy Donovan into the trenches, which will be difficult to do. Gary Cully in a big fight against Patera as well. It's a must-win fight for him. George Vizioli, Layli Buttigieg, George Liddard. Great night of boxing. And like I said, wedged between those big Saudi nights, we really needed this for British boxing. You know, a packed out 11,000 arena. You'll see an incredible atmosphere on Saturday night. And we want to put and keep British boxing on the map. We love the events in Saudi and His Excellency is doing an incredible job. But Matchroom and Queensbury, I know we're all motivated to say, flag in the sand, boys. This is our territory. We want to keep the big nights coming.
Let's get to the fallout from last week. I want to, first of all, to get your biggest takeaway from last week in the fight specifically. What do you take away from both Fury and Usyk? Not just their performances, but them as fighters.
Oh, great fighters. I mean, that's the first time I've watched Tyson Fury live since the John McDermott fight in Brentwood Centre. God knows how long ago that was. I thought he was brilliant for the first 6 rounds. You know, I know that there's been a lot of, you know, I've had a debate with Russ Amber and there's a lot of different opinions of the scorecards through 6 or 7 rounds. I really had Fury controlling the first half of the fight. Obviously, Usyk dominated the second half of the fight and I thought he won, probably by 2 points, but I did have it close and some people didn't. But for me, I thought Fury looked like he might be on the way to dominating the fight completely, like hurting him, you know, outboxing him at times. But I have to watch the fight back because a few people have said, watch it back. But I gave Usyk, I think the first round, I think maybe the third, and then really till 8. Not a lot after. 8, obviously, 9 he dominated, 10, 11, 12 was a swing round for me. So you add it all up, I think it's 2 points to Usyk. The right man won. But you either had it tight or you had it wide. And I thought both men were tremendous.
Specifically from the fallout from the Fury loss, a lot of people have highlighted some of the corner work, specifically all the voices in the corner. John Fury as well has come under a lot of flack there for some of his instructions. Do you feel that it's a case of too much chaos in the corner, not really giving Fury the guidance?
Every fight is different, you know. Some people work well within the chaos, some people don't. I've been there before, even you know, when AJ obviously had Rob McCracken, he had Angel, he had Joby, but they're not all shouting in the corner at the same time. But sometimes it's better to have one voice, one set of instructions from one people. You know, in the heat of battle, when you need to concentrate, you need to focus, and you need to execute a game plan, it's really good to have one person looking you in your eyes who you trust, who you can say, like, listen, do you understand me? You've got to do this. Do you understand me? Yes, I do. Right? And when you get that, that's a powerful thing. So I don't think that helps, you know. But also, like, it's pretty tense moment. Like, it's not always ideal.
I did an interview with Johnny Nelson. I don't know if you saw it. He labelled Tyson Fury a walking contradiction in the face of the insults he made. He was middleweight. Would never have beat him. He'd retire maybe if he was beat by him. Just your thoughts on Fury and the worry if, like, from the loss, he might not deal with it the same way because of that pressure.
I think he will deal with it well because he wanted to win. And people don't understand. We've seen this with AJ as well. The sacrifices these people make. Like, it's a hard, lonely life being a fighter. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of training, a lot of pain. You know, a lot of moments where you don't want to go on. You know, you sacrifice a lot. You sacrifice your time. You know, he would have sacrificed a huge amount of time out in Saudi. It's a chance to become undisputed. And I think sometimes we just got to realise that fighters are selling a fight, right? And we put the pressure on them. So do you. It's what you want, isn't it? You know, we love it when Tyson Fury stands up there and goes, "You middleweight rabbit, dossard, blah, 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 blah." It's brilliant self-promotion. It's hilarious. But you can't, you know, when you get beat, you can't just go, "Oh, who's the middleweight now?" Like, a lot of that, Tyson Fury knew going into that fight how good Oleksandr Usyk was. Fury knows he's boxing. But there's mind games. He's selling the fight. He believes he's going to win. He is a little bit wild as well. You know, I'd rather say, well done. Do you know what I mean? You build the fight up well, you know. Obviously, you talk your shit, and now you're going to get shit because that's just what happens in life. But well done. Well done for giving us a great fight. Well done for taking the fight. And hopefully you can do it again. And by the way, maybe you win next time. We're very quick in this country just to, like, slag someone off after a defeat. I've been through it with AJ. It's unbelievable. There's a British fighter who gave us a great fight for the Undisputed Championship, you know, that will go down in history. So I think, say, well done. He's always going to talk shit. Sometimes he's going to be an idiot. Sometimes you're not going to agree with him. But a lot of the time, he's trying to entertain us. He's trying to sell the fight. So I think after a fight like that, especially when someone shows a lot of heart in the 9th round, just give them respect. Don't have to like them. But I hate the ha-ha. We're a generation and a country of ha-has, aren't we? Ha-ha. You do it. Fucking, I'd like to see other people try and do that. You know, we're fans. We're allowed to criticise and we're allowed our opinion. But also, we should also show, I think, respect and congratulations and say, well done, mate, fair play. Like, I've not always been the biggest Tyson Fury fan. I say well done. And by the way, I watched him live, not seen him live. I thought he was really, really good. Really good, really high level. And, you know, Usyk was just sensational, too good.
Very well said, Eddie. Echo those thoughts. With your interest in a AJ versus Fury match included, do you feel that Fury's decision to take the rematch immediately was the right decision?
Absolutely. No other fight to take. I mean, the only reason you don't rematch him is to fight AJ because Usyk's not available. You have to rematch Usyk. He will feel that. He was having success. He was feeling like he could change things. And it's a big fight. And you've got a deal in place already. So, like, yeah, absolutely. You have to do the rematch and it'll be a big fight.
Seems like an easy answer, but would you favour Usyk in the rematch then?
Yeah, I would probably always favour someone who won the first fight, especially in a fight like that. Not where it was, you know, someone wasn't at the races. He beat him fair and square. And, yeah, I would favour Usyk to do the same job. But I do think Fury could win the rematch. You know, he was hurting Usyk, you know, but Usyk didn't stop. Like, there were times where I was watching the fight, particularly in the first half of the fight, and it looked like a kid attacking his dad, you know, like just like jumping up to hit him. when you think about all that holding Fury's trying to do, as he does, to smother you and drain you, Usyk was just bumping him off. And he's at such a disadvantage with his size. That's why his performances are so incredible.
There is a feeling that, though, that AJ and Fury match now becomes that little bit more distant and maybe that little bit more impossible to happen. Are you worried that commercially and for the interest of Joshua too, that fight might not ever happen because of this rematch?
You can't control that. You can only control what you're doing, which is hopefully to go and fight for a world title next. I still think the Fury fight will always happen, in all honesty. If Usyk's not ready or someone, maybe we fight one of them. If Fury can come back and win, how big does that make AJ against Joshua in the spring? So there's only so much you can control, but we're seeing great fights, and that's all that matters.
On the card, Cordina, unfortunately. Look, a lot of people highlighting the third round where Kakachi landed that off of the break there. How much of a factor did you feel that played in Cordina losing that fight?
Quite a big factor, but you never really know, do you? And we'll never know. I mean, I don't like to take away from what Kakachi did because I thought he was brilliant and he continuously hurt Cordina, and I thought Joe boxed the wrong fight as well. But you can't deny that the ref said stop boxing, and a second later he chinned him and wobbled him. Did he ever recover? Probably not, but it's boxing. You're in the line of fire, but I thought Joe was unlucky with what happened there. I also think he boxed the wrong fight, but also you got to give credit to Kakachi, who was very strong and powerful in there and didn't let him off the hook.
Extra gutted because it's a little bit of a preview for the 5v5 and it's a matchroom loss.
Yeah, and thankfully we got Chev Clark against Zorro this weekend. Chance to get one back. And we've just made as well Liam Davis against Masood. Great fight, but 10 days away from the 5v5. So we need to level the score this weekend, going back to Riyadh.
Final quick things. Do you know the overall pay-per-view number and specifically the DAZN pay-per-view number for Fury Usyk?
Yes, I do.
Can you tell me?
I can't comment on broadcast pay-per-views. What I tell you were the numbers were huge.
And also, did you see Frank Warren and Simon Jordan and going at it on TalkSport about the access to Fury? Just your thoughts on that situation there.
It's up to Tyson Fury who he gives access to. I don't like to ban people. I mean, it don't generally end well. But Fury's going to do whatever he's going to do. So, these guys, it makes it a little bit worse after that. And I feel like, I haven't watched the whole interview, but I feel like they're having a go at Fury. Like, you have to understand, this is also, outside of here, this ain't real. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just a game, it's just a show, it's just a stage. And a lot of what Fury says, like, people want Fury to go out there and behave like that. Do you know what I mean? So he's going to get stick, but I don't know. I think when you lose and when you've talked shit, you're going to get criticism. Comes with the territory. But what I would rather do, as someone that is involved with the sport and loves the sport, is going, fucking well done, boys. What a great fight. Respect to both. On you go.
Huge shame that the IBF are, not letting the title be part of the picture for a second undisputed fight.
It's the rules. At the end of the day, I would like Usyk to keep all the belts. But then if you have a fighter like Hrgovic who's been waiting, what do? You just don't give him a chance. I get both sides of the story, We always knew going into this fight that the IBF belt would peel away. So it is what it is.
Very last thing for me, that press conference where Usyk spoke and he spoke about dealing with the loss of his father and grief, that really stayed with me. I wonder when you saw that, what you felt from the words that he said.
I mean, you can't really imagine losing your father. I think sometimes in life, you take those relationships for granted. Like I do with my dad. And I know that if he passed or when he passes, it may feel like now, I'll be all right, we'll deal with it. But when someone is that important in your life, he's such a big role model or someone that's, really brought you to where you are, it will be crippling for him. And but sometimes you have to use that pain to drive you on in training camp, during a fight. I mean, I found it fascinating. I mean, you get the idiots who talk about this inhaler that he used during the fight, which was actually a crucifix that he was kissing. And then it's like, you shouldn't be allowed to kiss you're not allowed anything other than water. It's like, fucking, what's wrong with you? I mean, the strength through faith and maybe through the pain of the loss It's very difficult to overcome. Do you know what I mean? When you are, it's the wrong word, possessed like that, with faith and with pain, and with the loss of someone. Fuck me, and when you're as good as he is, and then you add that all up together, you just saw a man in there on Saturday night that wouldn't be denied. One of the great fighters of all time.
I appreciate it.